Okay, thanks for watching this YouTube channel. But if you want to know how to make America whole again, yeah, it's not a Make America Great Again thing, watch the show Insecure. This is a little discussion about Insecure. This is off the top of my head. I like to do most of my videos like this. I'm not super fancy, but I know I got to start pushing content out there, and I think this is a great show to start with. So obviously, Insecure is on HBO. It's a great show, okay? Obviously deals with African-American women in their 20s, navigating that beautiful Los Angeles landscape of relationships and professional workspace and even interpersonal friendships between girlfriends themselves, really. I think it's a brilliant show. I think it's written well. We know that Issa Rae is a star of the show, and she had a web series called Awkward Black Girl, and it kind of spawned from that, or it did spawn from that, not kind of. But Insecure, man, touches on so many things that are so good. Now, it can be black-centric, as I like to call it, but anybody, any woman can relate to it. Whether you are not an African-American female, you can say, you know what, I go through that same shit with my man. I go through that same nonsense with my girlfriends. I deal with that same stuff in a different way at my job. You know what I mean? So it's not just like, oh, only black people can watch this. No, it's just a great show, period. And a lot of times you can have things centered around one's culture or ethnic experience, but it can still hit on all notes to people of different ethnicities, races, etc. So that's a big part of the show for me. I think the writing is brilliant. The music to the show is just incredible. Raphael Sadiq, I believe, has the controls of the music. But listen, we're going to go through the cast, and I'll explain who they are real quick and just go through the actors. So first one I'm going to say is, is Lisa Joyce. She plays Frida on the show. She works at We Got Y'all with the character Issa. Quirky character, actor does a great job, or actress does a great job. We have a newcomer, more so of a newcomer to the show, Sarunas J. Jackson, who plays Alejandro, or AKA Dro, on the show, who is Molly's love interest. He's doing a great job in that role. He's smashing that. Love his character on the show. Real cool, smooth, laid back. We have Amanda Seales that plays Tiffany Dubois. Real sedity. We all have that one girlfriend, if you're a female, that is kind of sedity. I'm hoping that they do more with her character next season, maybe show a little bit more to her. And as far as layers, if you haven't watched her IG page, watch it. It's hilarious. She drops a lot of gems up there. We have the funny, the hilarious Natasha Rothwell as Kelly, who does a phenomenal job. Her comedic timing, how easy it is for her just dropping these little liners, these one-liners, two-liners, three-liners in these show is just incredible. She's so dope. We have Yelan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, excuse me if I'm not, Noel, who plays Daniel King, who is, you can say, love interest of Issa in the show. Reasoning behind her and Lawrence's breakup. We have, of course, Yvonne Orji, who plays Molly Carter. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Excuse me if I'm messing up the names. But magnificent in the show. She does a great job portraying the professional black female workspace relationship issues type thing going on. It's well written, well acted. We have Jay Ellis, who plays Lawrence Walker, who is obviously the main on again, off now love interest of Issa's. Jay has done a great job with the character, and hopefully we even get to see more from him from the next season, but I think he did a really good job, especially this season. And of course we have the star, and I have to say one of the stars of the show, but she is a star, Issa Rae, who is just killing the role, and who's funny, who's quirky, shows emotion, shows frustration. The show is just real, man. You gotta love it. So the cast is just brilliant to me. Even the lesser so-called characters do a great job. Let's talk about the black girlfriend dynamic, or girlfriend dynamic. Incredible, right? We all had that one friend, right? If you're female, you have the funny one that might be struggling with weight, right? the pretty one, that might be too sedity, the pretty one that's quirky, but is not necessarily comfortable with herself, the professional one that's pretty, that seems like she has it all, but doesn't really have it all, or doesn't have it all in her opinion. The characters of each of these women just transcends so many different women, I like to say. And it's dope seeing that in the show. Like I said, I hope they do more with Tiffany's and Kelly's characters. The actresses Natasha and Amanda Seales. But for now, I think they're in the right space. It is only a half-hour show, so there's only but so much you can do. But I think now that we get to know, we've known all the characters, we know what's going on, I think now you can kind of maybe layer some of the other characters more. But we'll see, But the girlfriend dynamic in the show, I think, is great. And they share great scenes together. Undeniable scenes that are just up and down in emotion and comedy. But I also like here how they portray the workspace of a black female, right? And of just a black person in general. The reality is that, a lot of black people are from the inner city, or we talk a certain slang, right? But we have this way of turning things on and off when we go into the professional workspace, where we can, be, yo, my nigga, talking to our friends one way, and then we get into the workplace, it's like, hey, Susan, how are you doing today? It's just the truth. And the way they portray that in the show is just so spot on. And there's a lot of times, where they cut to the scene of just Issa, and they show how she really feels. That's how you really feel. And it's so raw and it's so uncut, but it's just true. There's no... you don't even need to act, because that's how you feel. You want to say a certain thing, but you don't want it to be misunderstood as, oh, you're the angry black woman or man, right? So that's one dynamic that I love. That's another dynamic, I should say. Now, this season got a little bit more into Molly with her relationship woes. She's currently with Dro, if you want to call it that. Unexpected that a man would be so honest with her, especially one that's a friend of hers. You would expect that, but you know how us men do. And he was honest enough front. I'm in an open relationship. We can still do this. And either so she tried to resist maybe the ambiguous morality of it and kind of go past it. And I'm not going to do it. She subsided to it. She succumbed to it. And she's kind of full in. And we kind of saw that towards the end of the season. And throughout the season, really. And I think it was a great addition to a storyline, because that's different. And a lot of that is going on. There's a lot of polygamy and different stuff going on, or polyamorous relationships in society, especially American society. And we don't talk about it a lot, and especially in the black community. So I thought that was pretty good. Now, of course, the main part of the show is Issa's and Lawrence's relationship. Some real stuff, You're in your 20s. You're really still trying to figure out life. And people, I think especially now, they expect you, it's 2017, it's in the 2000s, you're 20-something years old. You're supposed to already know, or you're supposed to be knowing, but that's not how things work. And it doesn't matter how far we can be in 2040, I think the same things will happen to people. You got to go through life experience. You got to figure yourself out. But while you're doing that, you're in a relationship, and it's ever progressing. And they show that perfectly within the relationship of Issa and Lawrence, and how he was kind of down and out. He's trying to figure himself out, and then this dude, Daniel, comes back kind of from the past, somebody she's familiar with, right? And is kind of feeling maybe it's on time, and she kind of explores that, and those frustrations that she has with Lawrence, that lack of communication, of not being honest with him. And if you remember, her girlfriend's, kind of like, you got to talk to this dude. You got to let him know how you feel, etc. She doesn't do that. She lets it kind of stew. And then when we let things stew and we don't communicate, it comes out in different ways, in negative ways, that hurt people. And it's different to see a female cheat, right, and make a wrong decision, because that's being human. And most shows you always see, it's the guy that's cheating. He's the big bad guy. And it's not like, hey, yeah, I'm so happy that a female cheated. just like that's real life. That happens. And that happens to good women when they get frustrated, when they feel their man isn't doing what he needs to do. You know, and that's the great raw and cut reality of this show. That these things happen as an effect of not having communication and the complexities of relationship. Like I said, this is a discussion. If you want to leave comments below, by all means, you know, I can make another video. I didn't want to make this one too long, but subscribe to my channel. We can talk more about this in the comments section. I can make another video. We can go, you know, character by character, or we can just concentrate on Lawrence and Issa. But I appreciate all the love. I'm going to try and start dropping a video a week. It's a tough thing when you're not this big YouTuber, but you got to get content out there, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm passionate about film and TV and love talking about it, so that's what it's about. Click subscribe, leave comments below, and let me know.